जय सुभद्रा नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ
ॐ
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ
ॐ
नमो
नमो भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ
ॐ
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्वा
नमस्कृत्य
नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव
नरोत्तमं
नरोत्तमं
देवीं
देवीं
सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतीं
व्यासं
व्यासं
ततो
ततो
जयमुदीरये।
जयमुदीरयेत्।
सुन्वतां
शृण्वता
स्वकथा कृष्ण
कृष्ण
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
हृदयन्तु स्तोयभद्राणि
हृदयस्थैर्यभद्राणि
विदो नोति
विदोनोति
सुरत्सताम्
सुरक्षताम्
नष्टप्रायेष
नष्टप्रायेषु
भद्रेषु
भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं
भगवतीरुत्तमा श्लोके
भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति।
भक्तिर्भवति नैस्तिके।
Hare Krishna. We're discussing fourth canto, 29th chapter. Today we'll continue verse number 28 onwards.
So Saturday, I think Rampad Maharaj is giving class, Prabhu.
Morning.
Morning, yeah.
Okay. Good. Let's please repeat. Sukalat prakasa bhuyishtal.
Shuklat, Shuklat Prakash Bhuishtal.
Sukalat prakasha bhuyishtal.
Shuklat Prakash Bhuishtal.
Lokan apnoti karhichit.
Lokan apnoti karhichit.
Lokan apnoti karhichit.
Lokan apnoti karhichit.
Dukkhodarkan kriyayashams.
Dukhodharkan kriyayasams.
Dukkhodarkan kriyayashams.
Dukhodharkan kriyayasams.
Tama sokat katan kvachit.
Tamashokot katan kvachit.
Tama sokat katan kvachit.
Tamashokot katan kvachit. Shuklat prakasha bhuishtal.
Suklat prakasha bhuyishtal.
Lokan apnoti karhichit.
Lokan apnoti karhichit.
Dukhodarkan kriyayasams.
Dukkhodarkan kriyayasams.
Tamashukot katan kvachit.
Tama sokat katan kvachit.
शुक्लात् प्रकाशभूयिष्ठाल्
Shuklat prakasha
Prakasha
bhuishtal.
bhuyishtal.
लोकानाप्नोति काढिचित्
Lokan
Lokan
apnoti
apnoti
karhichit.
karhichit.
दुःखोदर्कान् क्रियाशामास्
Dukhodarkan
Dukkhodarkan
kriyaya
kriyayasams.
sams.
तामाशोकोत्कातान् कविचित्
तमशोकोत्कटान् क्वचित्
शुक्लात् प्रकाशभूयिष्ठान्
शुक्लात् प्रकाशभूयिष्ठान्
प्रकाशभूयिष्ठान्
लोकानाप्नोति कर्हिचित्
लोकानाप्नोति कर्हिचित्
काढिचित्
भोदर्कान् क्रियायासांस्
दुःखोदर्कान्
दुःखोदर्कान्
क्रियायासांस्
क्रियाष्टाम्
तमशोकोत्कटान् क्वचित्
तमशोकोत्कटान्
तामाशोकोत्कटान्
क्वचित्
क्वचित्
Synonyms: Suklat, by goodness.
Shuklat, by goodness.
Prakasha, by illumination.
Prakasha, by illumination.
Bhuishtan, characterized.
Bhuishtan, characterized.
Lokan, planets.
Lokan, planets.
Apnoti, achieves.
Apnoti, achieves.
Karihichit, sometimes.
Karihichit, sometimes.
Dukkha, distress.
Dukkha, distress.
Udarkan, having as the end result.
Udarkan, having as the end result.
Kriya Ayasan, full of laborious activities.
Kriya Ayasan, full of laborious activities.
Tamaha, darkness.
Tamaha, darkness.
Soka, in lamentation.
Shoka, in lamentation.
Utkatan, abounding.
Utkatan, abounding.
Kvachit, sometimes.
Kvachit, sometimes.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila. Those who are situated in the mode of goodness act piously according to Vedic injunction. Thus they are elevated to the higher planetary system where the demigods live. Those who are influenced by the mode of passion engage in various types of productive activities in the planetary systems where human beings live. Similarly, those influenced by the mode of darkness are subjected to various types of misery and live in the animal kingdom. Purport. There are three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. Those influenced by the mode of goodness are given places in the upper planetary systems, Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, and Maharloka. Those influenced by the mode of passion are given places in the Bhurloka and Bhuvarloka. Those influenced by the mode of ignorance are given given places in Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, or the animal kingdom. Qualitatively, the living entity is the same as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because of his forgetfulness, he gets different bodies in different planetary systems. At the present moment, human society is overly influenced by the mode of passion, and consequently, people are engaged in working in big factories. They forget how distressful it is to live in such places. In Bhagavad Gita, such activities are described as Ugra Karma, that is, distressful activities. Those who utilize the energies of the worker are called capitalist, and those who actually perform the work are called laborer. In actuality, they're both capitalist, and the workers are in the modes of passion and ignorance. The result is that there is always a distressful situation. In contrast to these men are those influenced by the mode of goodness, the karmis and jnanis. The karmis, under the direction of Vedic instruction, try to elevate themselves to higher planetary system. The jnanis try to merge into the existence of Brahman, the impersonal feature of the Lord. In this way, all classes of living entities in various species of life are existing within this material world. This explains superior and inferior life forms within the material world. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। We are discussing the conversation between Narad Muni and Prachina Bharisat. King Prachina Bharishad requested Narad Muni to speak in detail about the characters which he explained before while narrating the allegorical story of King Puranjana. Narad Muni starts speaking in detail about all characters. So since last few weeks we have been discussing about these characters in detail. So previously it speak how the old age attacks the materialistic person, So he explained the episode of Chanda Vega and his daughter Kalakanya, which represents old age, and Kalakanya married to Bhaya, the fear factor. And Bhaya has a brother, Prajvara, who represents the fever, and he has, Bhaya has many soldiers which represent various miseries and painful condition. So all together attack a living entity throughout the lifespan. But we have this material body which is protected by the prana vayus, which Narad Muni compared or correlate with the serpent, the five-hooded serpent who protects the city of King Puranjana, right? So, and the serpent also couldn't protect the city because gradually even serpent becomes weak. That's what he said, that in the body, the city is nothing but it's a body, our material body um, is protected by the immune system or pranavayu, but after certain age, even pranavayu cannot protect. That's what our body starts deteriorating and old age attacks, and we face various diseases and problems. Finally, the soul leaves the body. So then in the section 26 to 33, these verses, Narad Muni describe about the material existence, direct description of the material agent. So he's saying that why the jiva, by nature, it's a spirit, spiritual, wander all over the place. So Narad Muni say the jiva the series of action happens because the reason is why the jiva by nature originally it's a spiritual, and uh, Krishna says that soul is a part and parcel, and our original abode is spiritual world, and how does jiva come to this material world? That's what he spoke in the previous verse. He said that misuse of independence under the modes. The jiva forgets the Lord, comes under the influence of the modes, identifies with the body, performs action in sattva, rajas, and tamas, gets different types of body as per the modes. This is the series of action happens. So what's happening? So jiva, the soul, originally spiritual, originally was situated in the spiritual world, but develops a rebellious nature, develop a nature where he wants to enjoy himself. So that's why jiva is put into in this material world where we can enjoy independent of Krishna. So those who want to separate from Krishna, they are put into this material world where here the influence of modes are available. 3 modes. So then when jiva comes in contact with the modes, what happens? Identifies with the body, he forgets slowly, gradually forgets that his soul is identified the body because of the influence of the modes and performs action in rajas, tamas, and sattvas. So he will perform different action, either in the mode of in the goodness, passion, and ignorance. So goodness means all pious activity, philanthropic, the goodness, it's not harming anybody, good to everybody. Passion means it's very aggressive thing, unless until one is passion, he cannot uh, aggressively can do some construction thing, right? People wants to earn lots of money, they want to do everything. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do, I like this, I like that, I want to, what do you call, people say that, I want to do different activities like, they want to jump from the mountain cliff, the bungee jumping, or I want to deep what is skydiving. These are all like passionate people, they're influenced passion, they want to do something. Wow. They try to get a fun out of that such passion work, right? Thirdly, the ignorance people, they don't want to anything. Hmm? They do not have any knowledge. They they want to just sleep, eat, sleep, enjoy, mat, randomly, nothing, very lazy. So these are people of tamas. So accordingly, they do various activity, and based on that, what happened? They get they continuously getting next life because of their activity. The, so that's why they get a different types of body as per the mode. So continuation to that, in this verse, Narad Muni says, those who are situated in the mode of goodness act piously according to the Vedic injunction. So mode of goodness, right? It is the platform where we human beings perform pious activity. So when you do the pious activity, what would be the result? It's called, or in other word, it's called sukarma. Sukarma is the karma, the activity, which gives the good result. It's not harming anybody. It's not a sinful action. Hmm? It is the it is it's a good action, good work. May not be best work, but it's a good work. Like we see that there are different activity people do. They want to uh, help poor people. They want to construct some school, colleges, hospitals. you know they're not interested in the temple, but they're interested in uh, constructing school, college, temple. you know and they want to do different kinds of philanthropic work, right? So these are called pious activity. So when we do the pious, what happened? In the Narad Muni say, thus they are elevated to the higher planetary system where the demigods live. So when you do pious activity, mode of goodness, we will accumulate pious credit. We have a balance, so we'll develop pious credit. So that what happens? That leads to go 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 to higher planet. Higher planet means there are 14 planetary system in this universe, right? 7 Hellis planet and 7 uh, non-Hellis planets. So that's why it divided into 3: upper planetary system, middle, and lower. All lowers are Hellis planet. Middle are Bhur, Bhubas. Uh, it's like Bhur is the earthly planet, and above the earthly planet there is another planet, Bhubar. You know. Then up to that there are 5 more, um, like even so, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and the Satyaloka, right? Bhur, Bhuvar, and the Swarga. Then Swargaloka is the heaven planet, what you call heaven, right? See, in a Vedic knowledge, it gives more detail about everything. Other philosophy or other religion, just they talk about 2 planets, right? Heaven and hell. That's all they know. But we have a very detailed study which says that, of course, we have a heaven. Like apart from the heaven, there are. I mean, they consider everything as a heaven, like Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka, Satyaloka. There are 4 above planets are there, which and including heaven, they all consider as a heaven, only one term. And they have earthly planet, and then below to everything they call a hellish planet. Yeah, I mean, it is correct, but it's not a complete detailed understanding, right? But the Vedic knowledge gives us detailed understanding of how these 14 planets are created. And we discussed, when the creation chapter, we discussed multiple times that how this entire universe is created, right? From starting from the Karanadaksha Vishnu, Karanadaksha in Vishnu's body, how this all, from the pores of his body, uh, unlimited you know pradhans comes out from his body, and those pradhans, what is consisted, it consists of um, all you know element. It consists of the all the modes and the energies with which those are not activated, and also the souls which merge into Vishnu's body, and with their swabhava, everything. Then Mahavishnu glances over those pradhan, then next it convert into Mahatattva, then again then next converts, next transformation is mode up, the energies, goodness, passion, ignorance, then various elements, gross elements, subtle elements, um, then all the different energy, Karana Sakti, Kriya Sakti, Kvarta Sakti, all then everything creates a big globe, and within that, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Mahavishnu takes another expansion as a Garbhodaksha Vishnu enter into the globes. That's where the life starts. Then within the globe, then 14 planets are created, hmm, which represents the entire body of the Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Then that's the first time. Then Brahma appears. Then Brahma gets a service. That two. The one is increase the progeny, and second is secondary creation. Right. So we know that Garbhodaksha Vishnu trains Brahma to how to create. So Brahma going forward in the next, because every Brahma's one day the partial annihilation happens. So Brahma will take care of all the creation second time, and that's what Brahma learns from Brahma. Whatever the all every secondary Brahma is not the creator, but he's the secondary creator. That's what it says. So like that, very detailed explanation are given in the Bhagavatam. But coming back to the point, so here Prabhupada says those who are influenced by the uh, mode of goodness, they're elevated to higher planetary system where demigod lives. So all the higher planets, Swarga, um, Maharjana, Tapa, and Satyaloka, all these lokas, all the planets, all the pious, great rishis, all they live. Hmm. One thing we need to understand that even these planets are not permanent. Even Brahmaloka, Swargaloka, Satyaloka, they are not permanent. Even they are also subjected to annihilation. When Brahma lives for um, 100 is celestial. It's a big calculation. Um, so one day of Brahma is 1,000 yuga cycle, 4 yugas, right? What we call as one kalpa, like that. Brahma lives, it's like 311 trillion some years, right? Um, but every day of Brahma, day means when the daytime is over, when night comes, Brahma goes to sleep. At that time, what happened? All the lower planetary system will be annihilated, except the few upper, Satyaloka where Brahma lives, or also known as Brahmaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, like that. Rest all the planets will be annihilated, including Swargaloka. Uh, Earth. So what happened? That's why there is no. These are all not permanent. And also, when the Brahma days is over, completely Brahma, 100 years is done, then what happened? Even the Satyaloka will be annihilated, right? Again, the creation starts after, from the sun, Mahavishnu or Karuna Daksha Vishnu. So it's like continuously going on. So mm, then what happened next step? Those who are influenced by mode of passion engage in various types of productive activities in the planetary system where human beings live. So they are put into this material paths. Those who are influenced by mode of passion, they continue to live in earthly planet or go to the lower. And similarly, those influenced by mode of darkness, ignorance, are subjected to various types of misery and live in the animal kingdom or lower planet. They take birth in a hellish planet. Where they always get torture and miseries. So this is the influence, the destination according to the influence of the mode. How take. So the animal kingdom, here Prabhupada say. So then in purport Prabhupada says, qualitatively the living entity is the same as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because of his forgetfulness, he gets different bodies in different planetary systems. At the present moment, human society is overly influenced by the mode of passion, and consequently, people are engaged in working in big factory. They forget how distressful it is to live in such places. So this is what happens. Forgetful and all are busy in their day-to-day life. That's called mode of passion. You know. In Bhagavad Gita, such activities are described as ugra karma, that is distressful activities. Then next stage, the result of the result is there is always distressful situation. In contrast to these men are those influenced by mode of goodness. You know, the mode of goodness, they are karmis jnanis. The karmis under the direction of Vedic instruction try to elevate themselves to higher planetary system. The jnanis try to merge into the existence of Brahman, the impersonal feature of the Lord. In this way, all classes of living entities in various species of life are existing within this material world. This explains superior and inferior life forms within the. So either in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance, right? They're all the ignorance. They're all they're all living in material world only. Either higher planet or lower or middle, right? So beyond that, we have spiritual. Then how do you know? So then what we need to understand beyond this mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, there is another mode above all of these called mode of transcendent. So if you want to influence by mode of transcendent, then we have to perform akarma activities. That is called the activities which do not bind us in this material world. The activities, or in other words, those activities are known as spiritual activity or Krishna conscious activity. The mode of transcendent. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Traigunya Vishyan Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. So that's why Lord says to Arjuna, you have to go above these three modes, Nistraigunya, where you have to perform all the uh, Krishna conscious activity. So the bhakti path, what we are discussing every day is in that category. So if you perform bhakti, which is a karma, which is transcendental and which takes us back home, back to a spiritual world, which do not bind us in this material world. Okay? So this is what Narad Muni says, and he continued to speak how the jivas get different types of body also. The destination he discussed different bodies and how he gets, so this is what he says. We'll discuss, he in the next verse. Any question or comments from anybody this verse? Okay. 29th verse. Right, please repeat. Kvachit puman, kvachit chastri.
Vachitvan vachitastri.
Kvachit puman, kvachit chastri.
Vachitvan vachitastri.
Kvachinno bhayam andhadi.
Vachinno bhayam andadhi.
Kvachinno bhayam andhadi.
Vachinno bhayam andadhi.
Devo Manusyas Tiryagva.
Devo Manushyastiryagva.
Devo Manusyas Tiryagva.
Devo Manushyastiryagva.
Yatha Karma Gunam Bhavaha.
Yatha karma gunam bhavaha.
Yatha Karma Gunam Bhavaha.
Yatha karma gunam bhavaha. Kvachit puman kvachit chastri.
Kvachit Puman. Kvachit Chastri.
Kvachinno bhayam andade.
Kvachinno Bhayam Andhadihi.
Devo manushyastiryagva.
Devo Manusyas Striyagva.
Yatha karma gunam bhavaha.
Yatha Karma Gunam Bhavaha.
Kvachit puman kvachit chastri.
Kvachit
Kvachit
puman
Puman
kvachit
Kvachit
chastri.
Chastri.
Kvachit navayam andhade.
Kvachinno bhayam andade.
Devo manushyastiryagva.
Devo manushyastiryagva.
Yatha karma gunam bhavaha.
Yatha karma gunam bhavaha.
क्वचित् पुमान् क्वचित् च स्त्री
Kachit
Kvachit puman
puman
kvachit
kachit chastri.
chastri.
क्वचिन्नो भयमन्दधीः
Kachino
Kvachinno
bhayam
bhayam
andadi.
andadihi.
देवो मनुष्यस्तेर्यग्वा
Devo
Devo
manushyastiryagva.
manushyastiryagva.
यथा कर्मगुणं भवः
Yatha
Yatha
karma
karma
gunam
gunam
bhavaha.
bhavaha.
Okay. Translation and purport. Can someone read?
I can read Prabhuji.
Yes, Sutaji.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. Covered by the mode of ignorance in material nature, the living entity is sometimes a male, sometimes a female, sometimes a eunuch, sometimes a human being, sometimes a demigod, sometimes a bird, an animal, and so on. In this way, he is wandering within the material world. His acceptance of different types of bodies is brought about by his activities under the influence of the mode of nature. Purport: actually, the living entity is part and parcel of the Lord, therefore, he is spiritual in quality. The living entity is never material, and his material conception is simply a mistake due to forgetfulness. He is as brilliant as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Both the sun and the sunshine are very brilliant. The Lord is like the full shining sun, and the living entities are like the small particles of the sun, which constitute the all pervasive sunshine. When these small particles are covered by the cloud of Maya, they lose their shining capacity. When the cloud of Maya is gone, the particles again become brilliant and shining. As soon as the living entity is covered by the ignorance of Maya or darkness, he cannot understand his relationship with the Supreme God. Somehow or other, if he comes before the Lord, he can see himself shining like the Supreme Lord, although he is not as extensive as the Lord. Because the living entity desires to imitate the Supreme Lord, he is covered by Maya. We cannot imitate the Lord, or nor can we become the supreme enjoyer. This is not possible, and when we think it is, we become conditioned by Maya. Thus, the engagement of the living entity under the clutches of Maya is brought about by forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Under the influence of Maya, the living entity becomes exactly like a person haunted by a ghost. Such a person speaks all kind of nonsense. When the living entity is covered by the influence of Maya, he becomes a so-called scientist, philosopher, politician, or socialist, and at every moment presents different plans for the benefit of human society. All these plans are ultimately failures because they are illusory. In this way, the living entity forgets his position as an eternal servant of the Lord. He instead becomes a servant of Maya. In any case, he remains a servant. It is his misfortune that by forgetting his real contact with the Supreme Lord, he becomes a servant of Maya. As servant of Maya, He sometimes become a king, sometimes an ordinary citizen, sometimes a Brahmana, a Shudra, and so on. Sometimes he is happy man, sometimes he is a demigod, and sometimes he is a demon. Sometimes he is a servant and sometimes he is a master. In this way, the living entity wanders all over the universe. Only when he comes in contact with the bona fide spiritual master can he understand his real constitutional position. He then becomes disgusted with the material existence. At that time, in full Krishna consciousness, he regrets his past experiences in material existence. This regret is very beneficial because it purifies the living entity of material, conditional life. He then prays to the Lord to engage in his service, and at that time, Krishna grants liberation from the clutches of Maya. Lord Krishna explained this in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Does anybody wants to continue? Okay.
I can read, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, from the verse, right, Mataji?
Hmm.
Lord explains this in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Devi Hesha Gunamaye Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamyave Prapatyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Only by the grace of Krishna can one get out of the clutches of Maya. It is not possible to get out by mental speculation or other activities. When the living entity understands his real position by the grace of Krishna, he keeps himself always fit in Krishna consciousness and acts accordingly. Thus, he gradually becomes completely free from the clutches of Maya. When he is strong in Krishna consciousness, Maya cannot touch him. This way, in the association of Krishna conscious devotees, the living entity can get free from the contamination of material existence. In this connection, Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami says, Thate Krishna Bhajhe, Khare Gurura Sevana, Maya Jhala Chute, Paye Krishnera Charana. In the Krishna conscious state, the living entity engages in devotional service under the direction of the spiritual master. This way, he gets out of the clutches of Maya and takes shelter under the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22.25. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Very elaborately, Prabhupada talks about in this verse, like how the souls get different bodies. So here it says, covered by the mode of ignorance in material nature, the living entity is sometimes a male, sometimes a female, sometimes a Enoch, sometimes a human being, sometimes a demigod, and sometimes a bird, an animal, and so on. In this way, he's wandering within this material world. His acceptance of different types of bodies is brought about by his activities under the influence of modes of nature. So this is the result, right? The current activities, current karma, what we do, that leads to next life and the next body. So if you are in a mode of goodness always, then yes, we may take a human birth again or take a demigod position. You know, if you are completely ignorance, then we take birth as bird, animal, etc. If you are sinful person, meat eating, then yes, we'll take birth as animal because meat eating is allowed for animal. That's not a sinful for them, right? So the male and female also accordingly, like if you the attachment, right? If you see the King Puranjana episode, we discussed that in next life he became woman, right? By Dharbi. Because in the previous life, King Puranjana was totally attached with his wife, and while leaving his body, he was constantly thinking about his wife. That's why next life he took birth as a human, you know. So this is what. And we see the other thing, the ignorance, Manigriva and Alakubera episode, right? How Narad Muni cursed them, when they were totally intoxicated, they were taking bath without having any clothes, naked in a river, along with the women. When Narad Muni was just crossing by, and they did not noticed, or they just ignored, even though they saw Narad Muni, and Narad Muni cursed them that because you are totally in ignorance, right? You don't have a shame, you are naked, so better to take next life as trees. Trees, you see that they're completely ignorance. So that's why they become a Arjuna trees, and also, of course, and he also say that Krishna will come to rescue you, and that's what the entire Damodar Leela we discuss, how Krishna rescued them when Mother Yashoda was chasing um, Krishna because of his mischief act, right? Then he finally, after a long chase, she could catch hold of Krishna, and she tied Krishna on uh, on the wooden mortar. Then that's why Krishna tried to escape from the mortar, and finally he dragged and he went in between the Arjuna trees and just broke the tree. That's where the Manigriva and Alekuvera, they appeared out of the trees, right? So this is what. So coming back to the point, so based on our activity and our karma, we get the next body, right? Um, his acceptance of the different types of body is brought about by his activities under the influence of mode of nature. So here, Prabhupada very elaborately talks, this subject, how the living entity is covered by Maya. Very explanatory, isn't it? The first few line, if you see that actually the living entity is part and parcel of Lord, therefore he is spiritual in quality. The living entity is never material, and his material conception is simply a mistake due to forgetfulness. He is as brilliant as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Both the sun and the sun sign are very brilliant. The Lord is like the full shining sun, and the living entities are like small particle of that sun, which constitute the all-pervasive sunshine. When these small particles are covered by the cloud of Maya, they lose their shining capacity. When the cloud of Maya is gone, the particles again become brilliant and shining. As soon as the living entity is covered by the ignorance of Maya or darkness, he cannot understand his relations with the Supreme. So this is what, somehow or other, if he comes before the Lord, he can see himself shining like the Supreme, although he is not as extreme Lord. So this is what we need to understand, right? So that is what we have qualitatively we are same as Krishna, God. We are part and part of Krishna. So we lost that our original um, nature. We became forgetful because of the influence of three modes and because of the covering of the modes. So as soon as the covering is gone, then we gets our, or we realize our real nature. We revive our lost relationship with Krishna. So that revival, that process is required. That how can we revive our lost relation? By this bhakti process. The bhakti process which help us to revive our lost relationship. We with that we'll get back our constitutional position. That's what. What relation? How do we get our knowledge? We realize that we are the part and parcel of Krishna, and our dharma, our duty is to constantly engage in the service of Krishna, to please Krishna. That is what Jivero Sarupa Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. Krishna means Lord Krishna's, Das means servant. We are the eternal servant. If you don't become a servant, so it always we are our nature is servant. Doesn't matter whether we are revived our relationship with Krishna or we um, do not revive, right? Either in any situation we are servant. But only difference is that when we revive, when we become pure Krishna conscious, when we are purified, we become a servant of Krishna. When you are not purified, then we become a servant of Maya, right? So servant nature is there. No one can say, "Oh, I'm the master." Those who be trying to become master, he is a foolish. He's suffering, or he's in under illusion. He's thinking that, oh, he's getting master, but unfortunately, indirectly, he's serving Maya only. So either we have to serve Maya or we need to serve Krishna. So we cannot come out of that servant role. So if you see in the material world also, everyone is serving someone. No one said, oh, no, no, no one is serving. I am the master. No, everyone is serving someone. No one can, even the millionaire also serving someone, right? He's serving to country or serving something, the service is there. But we need to decide which service is better. We cannot think that, no, no, I don't want to become a servant, I'm a master. If you think like that, then yes, the stringent laws will act on us. When we that's a violation of the law. Like when we violate the law, then what happened? The cop will catch us and put into the jail. Similarly, when we try to lord it over this material world, that means we are violating the laws of nature. That's why the laws of nature or the modes are imposing punishment on us. That is what punishment is, nothing but the miseries, the problems that's in our life, right? When you think that, no, no, when we revive our real, no, I cannot become a master. I'm always the servant. If you stay in that mode, and servant of what? Krishna. Then when you understand that and engage in the service of Krishna, then yes, then what happened? We regain our relationship. We become transcendental, and we will go back home, back to God. So this is what whole purport Prabhupada tried to say. So Krishna also says, Devi he is the divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily. Yes, no one can overcome these modes of nature. Someone says, no, no, why this modes of nature is nothing but, I can become a master. No, because those are Krishna's energy only. No one can defeat the Krishna's energy. Hmm? That's why it's better to understand that. Then how can we defeat the Krishna's energy? By surrendering. But those who have surrendered onto me can easily cross beyond it. Right? So this is what whole purport, and Prabhupada talks about Krishna Raj Kaviraj Goswami. Tate Krishna bhaje kore guru rasevana maya jale chutte paya Krishnara charana. In Krishna conscious state, the living entity engages in devotional service under the direction of the spiritual master. In this way, he gets out of the clutches of Maya and takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. This is the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we hear Narad Muni says how different soul gets different bodies, by under the influence of the three different modes. Thank you. Hare Krishna. This is what we have today. Any question or comments from anybody?
Yeah, the Srimad Bhagavatam says that if we are really surrendered to Krishna, it's like crossing like the water in a hoof print of a cow's hoof print, right? In that verse, Samashrita Pada Pallava Plavam, right?
Mm.
But it doesn't seem like it is like a hoof print of a calf to us. So that means we're not surrendered enough, I guess.
Yep. That's more surrender, more it become easy to cross this difficulty situation.
Surrender, I guess, means giving up all complete sense gratification and only considering ourselves as the servant of Guru and Krishna, right?
And yeah, that's what like yesterday in Maharaj Bhagavatam class morning, the same discussion, right? It's not that complete leaving. That's what he say in the purport. We say that whatever is necessary, we should still do. We cannot completely stop doing
Right,
everything. Whatever is necessary to live, to um, to act, to
right. Like
that we
you can
definitely will
still do your occupational duty.
occupational
Yeah,
duty and
yeah,
whatever is necessary, but we should not do anything over endeavoring.
mm,
That's what you know the whole discussion yesterday on this. We have to do, but because we need to know highest goal. Our goal is different. When we understand our goal, yes, to perform that goal, what else is necessary, we have to do. That's it. Not that our goal changes, our goal becomes something else, right? That's what,
right.
yeah. So this is what we need to understand. But yes, when we have a goal, we have a highest goal. Yes, this is my nature. To do this, what else I need, I will get that only. For example, to construct a house, when we want to construct a house, then what? And the construction company, they know, okay, we need this much of iron, this much of whatever the bricks, and this much of cement, or this much of wood. That's it. They don't get unlimited cement, and they know this this is what I need to construct house. That is their goal. So they get all this thing and construct. So that's what we have a highest goal. But to achieve that goal, and as long as we are in the material world, we cannot avoid everything. Oh, I said, no, 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 I do not want to mingle with this material world. Then we become a Mayavadi again. Because they say that Jagan, what do you call them? Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. Only Brahman is the true, rest all are the false. I don't want to do anything in this. So that again we become foolish. So that's also we should not do. We know that no, no, Jagan is not Mithya. Jagan is temporary. It's Satya. It's a temporary.
Mhm.
But to live in this material world, we need to use everything, whatever we need. But our highest goal is Krishna consciousness. We want to think that by process of bhakti. So that is what when you do that, when you have that understanding, even bhakti part is not a problem. Bhakti is getting problem because for them who thinks that no, we need to leave everything apart. That's what they struggle. How can we leave this material world? We have to eat, we have to survive. Someone say no, everything is mithya. I don't want to eat, I don't want to talk. I'll put a tape on my mouth. I'll go to the secluded place. That's what the problem start. No, you fundamentally were wrong. Right. So that's why Krishna says, no, don't go with a vairagya mode, go in a yukta vairagya. You use everything, whatever is required to pursue that highest goal. That's what the whole Krishna conscious.
So that's what. So surrender can mean even that. You're saying, as long as you have the goal of Krishna consciousness in mind.
Yes.
And if you see everything that comes into your life as coming from Krishna,
Yeah, when we are surrender, definitely it's Krishna is taking. So we should not all mistake, the totally they're not God conscious. Oh, they say that everything is comes from Krishna. So that's what what is who is me, even if everything is no. When we are surrender, when we are into Krishna consciousness, yes, Krishna will act as Krishna will comes. But if you're not surrender, then yes, there it's coming from Maya, the bewilderment, right? So. That's what we
right?
need to.
Then we have to also remember that Tateno Kampam verse also, you know what I'm saying? That everything is coming from Krishna and I just have to accept it and still serve him.
Yeah.
When nice things happen to us, we feel, oh, Krishna is giving us nice things. But when bad things are happening to us, we feel, why is Krishna giving
Krishna
us
is
this?
giving. Yeah. 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 In that sense, yes, correct. Right. When we are into Krishna consciousness, whatever comes is from Krishna only, either good and bad.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
that we are suffering because of our
Our
bad. previous, yeah,
And
reactions.
also, those suffering, how do you take it? It's coming from Krishna, because Krishna wants us to more surrender, right?
Right.
Because we are lagging somewhere, we are
Yeah.
lagging somewhere, or we are
More surrender,
sometimes.
or also recognize that this material world is not a happy place. We need to get out of here,
Mm, mm, mm. Exactly.
because the more we suffer, more we recognize there cannot be much happiness here, right?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. Let's offer our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Pancha kalpataru hishcha kripa sindhu Gitanam Pavanam Vaishnavim Namanam Anantakoti Vaishnavrit Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Guru Srila Prabhupada, all assembled devotees Ki Jai. Hare Krishna everyone.
It's